ankle with a rope. I tightly fastened a heavy anchor to my cousin's ankle with a rope. I knew that if he disappeared forever, the path to my family's billions would be clear for me. But just then, I heard someone cough behind me. When I turned around, a man was standing there. He introduced himself as Beckett. It was the first murder of my life, and I was terrified inside. But once it was over, I realized it had been much easier than I had imagined. There were no cameras on the yacht, so if nobody had seen me, everyone would believe it was just an accident. But I wanted the entire inheritance, and to get it, I had to eliminate the remaining 6 heirs standing in my way. The first one had worked out because of luck, but this time I needed a solid plan. My next target was an uncle I had never even met. He was a famous rock star. I approached him disguised as a journalist and offered him an exclusive interview. The moment his attention shifted elsewhere, I quietly slipped poison into his drink. But then he suddenly became suspicious. He pulled out a samurai sword and said he wanted to shave my beard. Then he said he already knew who I was. The moment I heard that, a cold sweat ran down my body. Even so, I tried to act innocent. The only question in my mind was that if he had recognized me, why hadn't he called the police? But when I realized he wasn't joking, I revealed my true identity. He was completely shocked. He had thought I was just an ordinary journalist, but I turned out to be a member of his own family. Trying to ease the awkward situation, he picked up the glass in front of him. At that point, my fake journalist story no longer mattered. Just a few minutes later, he suddenly suffered a heart attack and died. The very next day, my aunt discovered that the family's heirs were dying one by one. She installed a laser security system throughout her villa and kept herself heavily protected at all times. However, every Tuesday, she never missed her appointment at the beauty salon. I took advantage of that routine. I disguised myself as a salon staff member and, when the opportunity came, tampered with her dentures. The chemical I used was carbon dioxide, which looked similar to the acid found in whitening products. As a result, the police concluded that she had simply used a defective cosmetic product. By then, I had completed half of my plan. My next target was another heir in the family, a pilot. I disguised myself as a crew member and handed him a drugged drink. Everything happened exactly as I had planned. The plane crashed, and my success made me more confident than ever. But just as I was thinking about my next victim, a young woman arrived at my door. Without saying a word, she threw an envelope toward me. When I opened it, I was stunned. Inside were all the pieces of evidence proving that I had murdered my family members. She was my cousin. She didn't want the entire fortune. All she wanted was her rightful share.